Good evening, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I can't do this presentation in Mandarin, but I hope I can get myself across in English. So the aim today is for me to share with you the two technology from the premium iOS at MEDICONTUR. So first of all, I will go through the MEDICONTUR portfolio, how it was developed, and then we will dive deeper into the technology that we have behind our lenses. So at first, of course, at MEDICONTUR, we develop the monofocal IOL, the preloaded, hydrophobic. We do have, after that, developed the LIBERTY lens, which is a trifocal lens. And so basically, the more vision you want, the more risky it is for the patient. And the more vision you want, the more pricey it is. So we wanted to have an IOL in between those. So we call it the ELON, which is an IOL that enters into the EDOF lenses for extended depth of focus. So I will first, before I go to the ELON technology, I have to define with you what we consider as an EDOF lens. So we decide to share with you this evening the classification of the American National Standard Institute. So basically there is 3 criteria you want to respect to be considered as a real EDOF lens. So the first criteria, which is number 3 here. So in green, this is the defocus curve of the ELON IOL, and in gray, this is the monofocal lens. So first criteria, number 3 on the graph, you need to have as good far vision as a monofocal lens, of course, because you don't want to lose in far vision. Second criteria to respect, you want to improve your intermediary distances at 1.5 diopter. So at least 50% of your patient has to reach logMAR 0.2 in intermediate distances. And third criteria you want to respect is to have a defocus between the monofocal lens and the EDOF lens of at least 0.5 diopter. So in the non-diffractive technology to achieve that, there is 2 approaches. There is the spherical aberration approach, which is mostly used for monofocal plus lenses. And this is what we call real EDOF, the approach of wavefront manipulating technology. So in this category, there is, we are 2 manufacturers in this category. There is Alcon with the VVT and MEDICONTUR with the ELON. So how this technology works? As every EDOF lenses, the goal is to have a continuous line to have a sharp vision for every object up until far vision up until 60 centimeter intermediate distances. So the idea is to reach this continuous defocus line. This is what we want to achieve. So how did we do that? Here at the very top, you can see one lens with 1 curvature radius. So this is a monofocal lens. If on this refractive zone you add a second refractive zone, you will have a bifocal refractive. And if on this same double refractive you add a third refractive zone, you will have a trifocal refractive lens with 3 focal points. So at first, this is what we design on the ELON IOL. So you can see there is 3 distinct refractive zones, which are located in the 2 mm central part of the lens. So here was the lens was designed like this, and where the technology comes into play is the wavefront linking. What is wavefront linking? Wavefront linking is a way to change the curvature in between the linking zone, in between those 3 refractive zones. So if you vary the linking zone by a little, you will extend each focal point. So from your trifocal refractive, you will expand each focal point until they merge together. And doing so, you will have this continuous line that we wanted to achieve. Again, you can see at the very top there is no linking zone. So you have a refractive trifocal lens, and when you are linking the zone with the wavefront linking technology, in between the 3 refractive zones, you will extend each of your focal points until you have this line. So this is the profile of the IOLs, Magnify. So you can see there is 3 refractive zones, and in between those 3 refractive zones, this is where we have our technology, the linking zone, which allow to expand each focal point until they merge together. So by doing so, we have a continuous focus of vision, and we use only refractive technology, so you don't have all the downturns of the diffractive technology. So the ELON is a fully preloaded hydrophobic lenses. It comes with a Abe number which is very high, the highest on the market. So you have low chromatic aberration. The material is a SEMTE material. It's a hydrophobic material developed by MEDICONTUR, which is glistening free. And as every premium lenses, it's very key to correct the corneal astigmatism as little as it is if you want to improve your results. So of course we do have a toric version available from cylinder 1 up until 6. So how this lens perform against monofocal plus? Here you can see the 3 defocus curve of 3 monofocal plus on the market, Ions, Isopure, and Vivinex Impress. So you can see that the lens perform quite well with the, compared to monofocal, you gain in intermediate distances. But here in green, this is the defocus curve with the ELON. So you can see there is a significant gain for intermediate distances. So for far vision, it competes as the same. So you have a nice far vision. And in intermediate, the key point here is at 67 centimeter, 1.5 defocus diopters, you will be at logMAR 0.2, whereas monofocal plus lenses stands around 0.2. So this is a real gain for the patient. And also you will gain a little bit in near vision. So we like to call it functional near vision, but this lens is not designed to get spectacle free, but you will have a better, of course, near distance compared to monofocal lenses. On this graph, you can see the MTF curve of the ELON relative to the VVT. So you can see that the lenses are performing quite the same in terms of how the light is treated through the lenses. So we expect similar results, actually. On this graph, you can see this is a study with 37 eyes with the ELON. So you can see that in light green, this is monocular, and in dark green, it's binocular. So you can see that there is a sum-up effect with this IOL. And you have fantastic far vision, and on binocular, you have very good intermediate distances with over logMAR 0. Also, this lens is non-diffractive, so it allows you to keep good contrast sensitivities on the defocus curves. So there is many lenses on the market, real lead-off or monoplus that are available, but where, if you are used to the VVT, for example, where it stands out, this is our hydrophobic material, which is glistening free. The Abe number is also higher on the market, so you have less chromatic aberration. We have a design I will share with you afterwards that is very stable. And the power range. Today we have the widest power range from 8 to 35 and from cylinder 1 to cylinder 6. And it is fully preloaded in our injector, whereas the VVT lens is not preloaded at the moment. So this is the key points about the ELON. Real enough preloaded, as good as VVT. We have very good rotational stability of the lens through our designs. And this is, of course, aspheric optic as many premium IOLs. So if you want to start in your practice to use the ELON, there is just few tips that we have the best results when we start like this. So I want to share with you, be careful about the corneal astigmatism. Starting from 0.6 against the rules, please be careful, and you might need to go with the toric IOL if you want to improve your results. And also, we optimize the outcome on the dominant eye, target the first positive value. Whereas on the non-dominant eye, you can target the first negative value. Like this, you will create a little bit depth of focus, and you will optimize the results and patient satisfaction. So the expert will talk more about their results with the lens, but this is the key points for the ELON. So now we'll introduce the technology behind our Liberty lens. So the ELON is not designed to be spectacle-free. It's not designed to have near vision. It's from far up until intermediate distances, whereas the Liberty is the lens designed to be spectacle-free. So for me, in order to introduce the technology behind the Liberty lens, I will just go through a quick reminder of how trifocal diffractive lenses were developed in the past and how ours is different. So the basic of trifocality, at first, you take a monofocal base of an IOL, and then you add one diffractive element. This diffractive element will act like a convex lenses, like an addition. So by doing so, you obtain a bifocal diffractive lens because you add one diffractive element for near vision on a monofocal far vision lenses. So adding a diffractive element, it will diffract the diffraction of the light. So it's a little bit like a physics phenomenon, but what we have to remember is that when the light goes through this diffractive element, part of the light will be not deviated at all, which is what we call order 0. So it's like the far vision. And second part of the light will be deviating towards the first order, which is the near vision. Other part of the light will be on second order, but it's 4%, so it's not useful in our case. So here's the modelization of two diffractive elements. The wide of the diffractive steps define the power of the addition. So the power represented by your diffractive element. So the wider is the steps, the lower is the addition. So at the top here, you have a diffractive element of 3.5 addition, and under you have 1.75 diffractive element. So the first trifocal IOL was designed quite simply, I would say, because they just put at the top of them the two diffractive elements on the same platform. So as you can see here, so you will have one diffractive addition for near and a second diffractive elements for intermediate distances. Like this, you will have your two focal points for intermediate and near vision. So just a quick reminder of what is apodization. This is an illustration of the diffractive steps. So I told you the larger of the steps define the addition, but the heights of the steps define the distribution between order 0 and order 1. So it defines how many energy you want to allocate without deviating for far vision or to the near vision in order 1. So here there is 3 diffractive elements, and you can see the wide of the steps are the same. So it represents same additions, diffractive element of the same addition. Whereas the height of the steps at the very top are higher than the other. So there is more energy towards the first diffractive order, so towards near vision. Whereas just in the middle, you have less height, so there is less energy towards first order, so more energy towards zero, so towards far vision. So if you have a design, what is apodization? Apodization is the decrease of the heights of the steps from central part of the lens to the peripheral part. So like this, you can distribute the light differently regarding of the pupil side. So it makes the Liberty lens is an apodized lens, so it makes the lens very sensitive to pupil size, but we can optimize light distribution in such a way. So here you might recognize many trifocal lenses of the market, Fine Vision, Atelisa, Panoptix. And my point here, you can see that almost all the optic surface is covered with diffractive steps. Because, why? Because there is two diffractive addition, because they want to reach the trifocality. And this is where MEDICONTUR Liberty lens stands out. So the lens is available in toric. We have a wide range, but I will continue with the technology because this is what we are interested. So you can see here, you can see the optic of the lens, and you can see that there is only 7 diffractive rings, which is much lower than the competition because all the other IOS are around 20 diffractive steps. So you have on the optic 75% which is refractive, only 25% diffractive. So by this design, you will automatically have less halos and glares and dysphotopsia. So how did we do that? So as I told you, we take monofocal IOLs as a base, as always, and we add 1 diffractive element for near vision, addition 3.5. So if I stop here, you would say to me, okay, so this lens is a bifocal diffractive lens because there is only 1 diffractive element. So the technology of MEDICONTUR happens here of what we call EPS. So to understand what is EPS, I'm sorry, I have to go back to diffraction. So again, you can see at the very middle here is the order 0, which is far vision. And the first blue are order 1, so near vision. And in between, you can see that there is a loss of energy. There is no light energy in between far vision and in between near vision. Why there is no energy? Because there is destructive interferences that's happening there. So basically, the phase of the light are in opposition, so they're just canceling each other. This is why we don't have energy for intermediate distance at this point. So what we wanted to design, we wanted to have energy in intermediate distances. This is what we wanted to do. So we managed to create constructive interferences in these intermediate distances. So we design constructive interferences by shifting the phase of the light. So we call it the EPS technology. So this is for elevated phase shift. So we start from destructive interferences, but we shift the phase of the light by half a phase. So instead of being destructive interferences, we have constructive interferences in this zone. So it allows to have energy for intermediate distances. So I can't tell you exactly how it's done, but it's a sur-elevation of the central part of the optics and playing with the diffractive steps. We are the only IOL manufacturer acting like this. So the key point of that is that you will have very less halos and glares, very less dysphotopsia, because the light scattering would be less by construction, because you have less diffractive elements. So the platform of the Liberty is a double C loop, so with some space in between the loops. This allows to have a very nice contact angle all the way through the capsular bag. So by having a big contact angle, you will have a very stable lens and a very central central lens. By this, we target our predicted ELP, so effective lens position in the bag. So it allows us to be very precise in subjective refraction of what we target. And also, I like the defocus curve because it's a study about 5 years with the lens. So you can see on this graph the defocus curve, which is interesting, which is trifocal lens defocus curve. And the key point here is that you have a refraction that remains stable over time because the lens remains stable in the bag. So our expert will dive deeper into this, but the key indication for the Liberty, of course, you want motivated patients that want to get rid of spectacles. Because it's a diffractive lens, of course, you will lose in contrast sensitivity, so you want to avoid retinopathy patients. Good tear film, it's important because it can weaken your visual outcomes. And this lens is, again, apodized. So apodized means we should be careful about the pupil. So it's very nice to optimize your result when you have a good pupil reflex, but at the same time, it makes it very tricky if the pupil is not normal. And if you want to start, we advise to start with hyperopic patients because they are the most easy to ease, the most easy to happy. So yeah, when it comes into trifocal lenses, we prefer under-promise and over-deliver all the time. But you need to spend time to speak with your patients to know what are their needs. Because there is also the downturns of the diffractive lenses, like halos and dysphotopsia, less than with more steps diffractive IOLs, but still. So by its unique construction with the EPS, the Liberty lens allows to have less visual disturbances. You keep a better contrast sensitivity because there is less light loss because we have one diffractive element less than other trifocal lenses. So it allows you to have good near vision, but also good near vision without lots of light. Even in mesopic condition, you will have nice near vision with the Liberty lens. Again, be careful of pupils because of apodization. And of course, as every premium IOL, we should correct corneal astigmatism as little as it is. So this would be my last slide, but just wanted to share with you what are the 3 pillars to have successful and happy patient when you go to premium IOLs. So you need to, of course, have a dialogue with your patient and to know what they need in terms of visual needs and what they expect from their implantation. Because when you do a trifocal lens, it comes at some cost of light scattering at night, always. But you need to know what would they need it. Of course, you need to have very good measurement with biometry, retina, pupillometry, of course, and so on. So if you have, you know the patient's needs, plus you have a good measurement, the third pillar that you need good calculation, of course. So we have, or now we have an optimized A constant for the Liberty. We have also a dedicated team at MEDICONTUR for post-LASIK cases. You can send us your complicated cases and we will help you to do the calculation. And also we advise to take in consideration posterior corneal astigmatism. So we have on our website, on our calculator, we have the AK formula to anticipate post-corneal astigmatism. And if you respect all those 3 pillars, we believe that you will have fantastic results with our products. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I would be happy to take it.